Words of hard.
What's going on, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And it's Fred Leonard, subprime hero.
And we are at this incredible, lovely Lexington Kain event workshop where so many solutions are getting brewed all over the place. Just got done with lunchtime, so you know we got to kick up the energy level. And this man just rocked the stage. Just rocked the stage.
I need to suck in some of that energy.
You need to get some of that car guy coffee. That's right. And with that, everybody, we want to go ahead, be loud, and be proud, and announce to you who for the first time is on the Car Guy Coffee podcast, the one, the only,
Atul Patel. That's right. Love it.
Welcome to the show.
We love having you here. Awesome. We appreciate it, man. You know, you're somebody that we've heard a lot about. Your company definitely, it's building up a lot of momentum right now. And I've heard about some announcements that we even had earlier today about you teaming up with another company.
Yes.
We'll talk about that some more, but we could talk about a lot of things. But brother, we're excited to have you here. We're honored to have you here. You know, to have somebody that I consider a lot smarter than me sitting next to me. I'm going to just soak in everything you say, and I'm going to take some notes.
I feel smarter. I feel smarter just because he's here.
That's it.
I'm just going to dodge the compliment and just go straight to you. All right?
But Atul, what are you thinking about this event? How are you feeling about it? You just got off the stage, so you got a bit of an experience that not everybody that's been interviewed so far today has been able to talk about. What's been cooking with you?
Yeah, so this is my first Kain event. Okay,
hey,
so
welcome.
I am generally new to the industry. I've spent a lot more time out in the field and coming to these things. So, you know, for me, I love David. He's just a personable person, brings the whole ecosystem together.
Amen to that.
And so for me, it's been a good eye opener in terms of what's possible when everyone gets together. And this is like post-COVID. We're still kind of post-COVID momentum.
We're definitely
rebuilding,
I
right?
didn't say that. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. That's
Yeah. So I think the audience is great. And what I did in my session is go into like cookie IDs and first party data and all this stuff that is super technical. But I like to actually not take the approach of like, oh, we got to dumb it down. I say, no, we don't need to dumb it down because we have to just help kind of keep saying it over and over again until we all kind of rise up and understand it. Because otherwise, otherwise, if we just say it once and we're like, never mind, this is not the right audience for it, then all of a sudden they're taking advantage of dealerships, don't stay up to date with what's going on, and then they find out too late, too little too late, and they're not even figuring out what their strategy is with third-party cookies and vendors and their ad buying and all of that stuff. So yeah, so I enjoy it. Usually when I finish the session, I get all sort of self-conscious. I'm like, what's that?
Did I say it all? Did I say everything?
Yeah, did I say it? Was it too technical? And then I go and like go up to people. I'm like, was that okay? And just like kind of like build up my ego again. Right? And then David's like, you got to keep repeating that over and over again. It's fine. It doesn't get old. So that's how I get excited. And then being on this with you guys is going to pump me up even more.
Well, we're excited to have you here, you know, and you know, I love the honesty because it's true. You know, we get up there, we say things, we feel excited, we get off, we're like, hold on, because our our own worst critics. We always will be, and we always shall be. And it's something like you'll catch yourself, you'll watch a video and you'll be like, I said so many ums in that. Why did I but you're the only one who catches that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I guarantee you brought tons of fire on that stage. I know that you're bringing some great information. I love that you said, I don't want to dumb it down. You should not. I agree with you so much on that. No, we want to speak their language, but we don't want to dumb them down because they're not dumb.
Yeah.
They're smart people. They need to be educated in the right language. They need to be educated on what's really happening. So like you said, they're not far behind, or they're not playing catch up, that they're there. At least being aware that they're there, you know, or how to get there is important. So no, brother, I'm glad that you're
speaking of there. They're here, right? Yeah. They're coming here to get educated.
Exactly.
They're coming here to get that information.
That's right.
And if we do ration the amount of smart, check it out. If we ration the amount of smart that we give them, then we're not leaving it out on the table, which is what we come here to do, right? Because this is an expense for all of us that show up, whether you're coming to be fed or you're coming to feed, right? You're coming and you're investing, and you want to make sure that you lay it all out there. So keeping the conversation to where somebody has to elevate to understand you.
Yeah.
And that's the level that we want the entire industry to get to. If it's communicating with the customer or it's communicating with your staff.
Yeah.
If it's communicating with your leaders, right? Or even communicating at home. We want everybody's measure to step up and understand that the language has gotten maybe a little bit more complex, but it takes you being a bit smarter for it to be simpler, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing, and we honor that. We appreciate that, and want to keep saying, just like David would say, brother, just keep saying it. Keep saying it.
That's what he did. So yeah,
we appreciate that. Now tell us when you are at this. So this is your first event that you've come to. What is it so far? Because there's a whole lot more cooking for this event.
Yeah.
But what so far has separated this from others that you've seen or been to?
It seems like it's a tighter network.
Hey.
So I am, unfortunately I have to leave today. But some of my colleagues are sticking around, but I'm going to AIS to speak with Pash and a few others. And
Excellent.
Then, the day after in Dallas. I will. I'll pass on that. And then in Dallas on Thursday. So I think, first of all, I'm kind of bummed out, right? Mm-hmm. You come here and then it's like a tight network. You're seeing people again after so long.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have to leave.
No,
so I'd say the tight network is something I love about this, and I'd probably keep doing this one.
You should. I'm gonna tell you, this is our second one, and it is exactly like you said, and I love how you said that. You said it perfectly. It's a tight network.
It's a tight.
There is a lot of people here, but yet it's a tight network. I feel like this industry is filled with a lot of different networks that are tight like that. And this is one of those ones that you can kind of get into and feel at home.
Yeah.
The way that David is he's just such a great host.
He just he makes it home. Like
he
this
does.
is, we might as well done this at his house or something.
That's what he makes it. That's how he tries to make it feel like you're in his living room and we're all just having a good time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love that about him. But this event is phenomenal. I hope that you come back next year. I know you will.
Yeah.
But this is a great place. Your business fits right in here. It's exactly what's needed here. So whether you make it, your business needs to be here. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
Definitely. But I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited we got to meet you and talk to you. And you said earlier, oh no, we're just beginning, brother. You're getting ready to go hang out with Pash. You're about to do all these things. There's a reason why you're in demand right now. Is your business is in demand. What you're doing is in demand. Is because your insight, your perspective is in demand. People need to see all these different ideas and different ways to do business in this industry. And if we don't look at it that way, then we're gonna just keep going in the same direction. Which in a lot of cases, I'd say 80 to 90% of dealers, they're going the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Right. So we need to help them get more educated. We need to turn that number into more like no percentage.
Almost no. It's like no direction. It's not even wrong. It's like they're just. It's just we're stuck.
Yes. Yes. Listen, I know that you dealers
you.
are just doing your best, but here's the thing. You have to go get educated. You have to learn things. You have to. But then after you do that, which is the most important thing, you have to apply these things.
Yeah. You got to do it
consistently.
And I think, sort of where our focus is and why, first of all, I appreciate the kind words about being in demand. I'd actually say that it's really because where we try to sit in the industry, we're trying to be what we call middleware, which is connecting all of these dots. You guys had Stella earlier.
Yes.
It's all about, imagine you're calling this AI, it now pings the Orbi API, figures out that you just looked at 3 cars, and it says, hey, are you calling about the car you just looked at, right? No different than your airline company, your hotel company, wondering if you're calling about canceling a flight or that your hotel room might not be ready to be checked in on. So doing all this stuff is really where we feel our importance is actually not owning any one of these things, just being this sort of middle glue that connects it all. And I think that's why, you know, call it brilliant or just call it like humbling. It's like, we just love being right here in the middle of it all and connecting all of these.
I love that. That is a great place to be, and I love that you know exactly where ground you want to play on. Because when you're there, there's different roles for every business, different roles for every person, and when you could find your role, and you could be, whether it's your sixth man, like I'm thinking about basketball, being the sixth man, whatever it is, when you're good at that role, you're just as good as any other business. It's just that you got to just help other businesses. Matter of fact, the more in demand you'll be if you are in the middle like that. I think that more companies, it keeps you from not just the dealership, but also you have vendor partners like you just talked about. Stella, teaming up with them was a great idea, and I think that they're just as excited as you are, if not more excited. I can tell you that.
Absolutely. It was on this show. The exclusive was that you all are partnering up together.
Yeah.
So tell us, how exciting is that partnership for you?
For us, anyone who wants to tap into APIs, to think outside the box, who don't take the approach like I got it all, we're good, is always inspiring. Is when, you know, look, we're in automotive, so most dealerships don't know of Zapier. You guys probably know, like, if you do this in here, then this, I mean, this happens in smart homes. You open the front door, you can make your living room lights turn on, right? Those are two completely different companies. One's Ring doorbell, and one is like, you know, Philips Hue light bulbs.
That's right.
How did they integrate, right?
Right.
And so if you think about even in business, right, someone pays you on QuickBooks for an invoice, and all of a sudden they get an email sent to them from another platform. We think that when we hear vendors want to connect the dots like that, and they understand where our place is in being the connector and their place is in specializing a really cool feature, we really love that. I love when that happens. And it's happening more and more, I feel, where vendors are realizing, you know, it's the power of us all together. I think Jay from Techion said that on stage, but I feel like it's going to take a lot of these sort of ground floor nuts and bolts that we start to play with. And I feel like I don't want to ever leave the kind of the ground floor hacky kind of approach to things. And I know it has to happen as you grow and you got the title and all that. But I think I love, like, Undercover Boss. I love watching that show. I'm like, why isn't that done like monthly?
Yeah, well, you know, like a little inspect what you expect type thing, right? And I think that's phenomenal. You know, I think that dealerships need more things like that happening. We had a friend, Ron Garverick, he was talking about, oh, we need to do that. I'm like, it was basically Undercover Boss. I was like, so you're thinking about there's
Put
ready to show
mustache, go buy a car from your own store.
But you know, but what you talked about, the integration between companies, where instead of fighting each other, let's help each other, because our most important client is the dealer, which will in turn is the client that they sell. But the dealer, when we're vendors, we're helping our dealers. Instead of fighting another company, let's combine our ideas, our powers, and be able to do that. And that's what you all are doing. You're able to not fight against other people, but be like, hey, let's do this together. Let's make this product better for the dealer. Let's make it to where they do integrate, that they're not fighting each other with, you know, it's written this way or written this way, so it doesn't work. How about let's make sure that they do work? If you know that, you know, and not to get too deep into it, but there's so many CRMs, there's so many DMSs out there, there's so many of these different things that one will integrate with this, but one won't. One will do this, one no. We need to figure out a way to make them all integrate together and be able to bring everything at one. I know it's not easy, but it's possible. But the problem is that most of these companies fight each other so much that they don't want to collab. They don't want that to happen. They rather just do the wrong thing forever instead of just make the right thing happen.
Yeah, and look, dealers have more voice than ever before. I feel.
Amen to that. I agree.
So Ron Fry, who is on the board of CDK, you know, was at AutoNation. He is someone I go to for advice, and he was saying that we're at this tipping point where dealers are starting to get smarter than the vendors, me included,
I agree.
that serve them. You know why? Because they see all of the pitches. They, you know, if you're a vendor, you're just pitching outward. Like, I'm just biased. I'm just selling you.
Of course,
I
hear you on that.
If you're the receiver of all these pitches, you're actually accumulating so much knowledge and connecting dots that maybe any one vendor can't. And so in this tipping point we're in, now dealers have the power and the capacity and, believe it or not, the knowledge to then go to the vendors and say, you have to integrate this. And believe it or not, half the time the vendors are like, okay, well, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're seeing a change.
I love that. Dealers, you've got the power. So get after it. Listen, you are, and I feel like you're 100%. That was such a good perspective, because it's truth. dealers now have seen so many different demos from so many different companies that they're able to take notes and get educated on what's good, what's not, what's working, what's not working, what's going to be best for them. I think that you dealers should do that. I think that you should not just look at one and say, okay, that's the one. You should go out and compare apples, oranges, maybe apples to apples, whatever you want to call it, but go out and figure out what is best for you. Lou and I, we live in that philosophy with our certified solutionaries, is that when we go speak to one of our dealer partners, I don't have a product that's just for this. I have multiple. I'm looking for the one that's going to fit best for you. So if I have a CRM, I don't have one that's partnered with me. I have all these that are partnered with me. What's best for you and your budget and what's going to help your company work the best. It's not about what I'm going to make the most money on. Right. It's about what's going to help them be the most profitable and run their business more efficiently. And that's what I want. That's how I retain customers. And that's how I'm going to maintain future business and get referrals, by doing the right thing. So, and that's the whole point. And that's what you guys are doing. You're helping businesses, vendors, dealerships be able to melt that together and be able to provide that for themselves. And I think that's great.
And what you just said is you're not going in with a product or a feature. You're going in with a solution.
That's right.
Yeah. That's the magic word is let's figure out what your problem is. Like, it's always nice when the dealer, after the guards are down, they're kind of like, okay, you know what? Here's what I want to do. And what they want to do isn't anything I even said out of my mouth. Right. But then to get them to actually say that,
that's amazing.
All of a sudden you're like, actually, okay, let me piece these together. What vendor do you use for that? Hey, let's see if they would be open to connect to this other thing. And that's actually where our middleware position came to be, is because dealers kept asking us, will you do this with this other company? And we realized we're good enough just being the do this with other company connector.
Yes. And you need, somebody needs to be, because one, and especially just automotive. We'll just take automotive because this is
where we're
primarily where we're at, right? But there's always been so much contention of, we don't want to share our secrets, we don't want to share what's working for us, and we don't want to mesh, we don't want to blend, we actually want to create, then we want to dominate, then we want to crush, and we want to eliminate. Well,
wait, you seem to have that down like perfectly. Why is that?
I mean, but there's just a lot. You hear it a lot, right?
Knows how to flow like that.
You hear it a lot. Because you hear that a lot, because you see that a lot.
You do see that a lot.
It's almost foreign to us to be able to see people to say, you know what, I want to work with them, and speaking highly of another person's brand, while also saying, but that doesn't erase my relevance, right? As a matter of fact, it makes me more relevant because I can help mesh that together. It doesn't matter if you have a whole bunch of bricks, you're going to need some mortar, right? You're going to need some foundation to build that around. There's so much that has to happen. You got to dig before you do any of that stuff, right? So being able to lay these things down and have people that want to be connectors and see themselves comfortable as the connectors, not competitors, complementers, right?
Yes,
where we are completing the picture, because there's so many different colors to this. And for so long, we kept it in black and white, because black and white printed green.
Oh, yeah,
printed
that
green.
Too.
You know what I mean? But then saying, oh my goodness, there's more people we can help. There's more green we can print, and there's way more colors that we can use with this paintbrush. Let's welcome them all in there. Yeah. And if it doesn't work, it clashes. Cool.
You know what? That's exactly right. You have to think outside the box, try it out, and then, hey, look, if you want to go back into the box, cool. If you're like, wrong box, let's try something else. That's actually a very important approach we take, is don't take it like, if you don't give me this. I actually think that the vendor community also in automotive's been beat up so much, right?
You're 100%.
Right?
Yes.
All of the vendors have been beat up to be like, you didn't do exactly what you said. And then it starts to be you took us down a path we didn't say we do. And so what we try to emphasize is, let's go solutions oriented first. Let's figure out what's the vision. Let's be more realistic that this could take some time versus the month to month, I'm going to cancel you model, which I think is
you got a 30-day life. You better perform in 30 days, or
that's
pulling the plug. You know what I mean?
Don't let the dealer have a bad month and then they try to look for every reason to cut anything. You know,
that's kind of scary. You know, you have to
But because of that, because that's how we've been faceted. That's how this business has kind of ran for so long. And it's so refreshing when you get to see the collaboration, when you get to see the free new ideas, when you get to see the innovation, right? Seeing companies come together when you're like, you know what? That's a really freaking great call, guys. You know what I mean? And clap you on for that, right? We've had the same with partners that we have. Adam Marburger, so thankful that we have different people that we can connect to, but it's usually the people behind the product that you're connecting to. And then it's also the humble, hey, we don't know it all, and we want to keep growing. We want to keep learning. That keeps everybody going. And you too, dealers. I think that everybody had a big hunk of humble during the pandemic, and we had to chew on that for a little bit, right?
We did.
And because of that, it's got us a little bit more pliable. I would say that we're, at least as an industry, more pliable, more open to solutions.
Fantastic.
And with that, that means that we can get more collaborations, we can see more innovation, and we can still challenge the status quo more than ever before, because it should have been. It stayed the same for so long. It really did. Yeah. And now, it's wide open, and people can actually find hope. They can find peace. They can find joy doing what it is that they love doing in this industry, just by saying, tell me what you got and what's the solution you have for me.
Absolutely. And, one of our investors is Flow Automotive. Eric Flow talks about how it's not EVs, it's not autonomous driving. It's none of those things that are going to fundamentally change the dealership community. It's customer experience, how you integrate all of that. And really, you mentioned the dealers we serve, and then their customers. This is really all about the end car shopper. It's time to actually be, I'm in the auto industry. I don't want to hear my friends be like, oh, you help dealerships?
And that's what we hear.
Right, that's what we hear.
Right. Heck yeah, I do.
And my dad always taught me, we're going to I remember he'd get these Sunday newspapers, right? In the back were all those full page ads. And we'd talk about and then he'd tell me how to haggle with dealers and stuff, right? Like, just leave. And I'm like, can I just tell them that this is what I got? And so I think that there's a perception that I think we could change.
Amen.
Because when you think about hotels, when you think about airlines, they've gone in and out of being kind of that same thing.
Yeah.
Right? Remember, airlines do have a bad rap, but it's getting better, right? Like a little bit. Like they'll still run into problems. Like I was hit by that Southwest Airlines thing.
Really? My son was.
We went to Whistler, and then we were in where were we? Birmingham, because I flew Southwest. So we drove down, and we were stuck there in a hotel. We were there for Christmas actually, but. Wow. That's outside of the control. If there's like a windstorm, there's a tornado, that's a different story.
That's a whole different story.
If we could control it, why not let consumers realize, oh, you know what? You should call this dealer. I went there and they took care of me. And it's really simple. You could just go to this thing and they'll alert you. And I think that it's all possible.
It is. I agree with you, and it will be. And I think that as long as that we keep moving forward and the industry keeps adjusting and evolving, and each person that comes in new sees that. And I love that, because I love this next generation. A lot of people don't like this next generation for some reason. I think that they're different. They're so different than us. Yeah, they better get over it. They're so different than us. But man, do they understand this a little bit better than we did?
What is the next generation? Just to be clear, is it like my kids, like my 13-year-old? Is that the next?
That's got to be right. That's got to be the next generation.
Yeah, he's all in the mobile. He just would not even do.
My son's in college, first year right now. Matter of fact, right up street, University of Kentucky, and he's going to school right now. He's business management degree, and the way he communicates isn't by text with me, but with his friends, it's Snapchat, it's Instagram. Yeah. They don't text or call each other. They snap each other. They do this. So what do you think the future of communication is going to be at dealerships when these people hit the ground running, or they're running stores, owning stores? It's going to be that.
They're going to be like, you give him the price, he's going to be like, bruh.
Yeah. Right.
You're going to be like, what does that mean? Oh, shoot, let's compare our prices.
Here's your purchase order and your Snapchat.
That's it. So we got to learn that, but that's okay. I think the future's in good hands. I think that as long as we have companies like Orbi out there making differences, being, as you called it, the middleware. I love that. Yeah. That's something I'm going to steal. I love that. I love that name, but it's so true. But what you're doing is phenomenal, brother. Getting to know you is great. I can't wait to have him on as a five-liner.
Yeah,
another announcement right there. We're going to have him as a five-liner, get to know him a little bit more, figure out what drives him, what gets him in here. But brothers, how can everyone get hold of you? I got your email address up here. I'm assuming that's the best way.
Yeah, email's good. LinkedIn, find me on there.
I
noticed not a lot of. I noticed like 60% of dealers aren't even on LinkedIn
because they think that I'm trying to change that right now. I'm trying to show them it's not just that. And
let's see if we can help. I'll be down to support it.
Let's make that happen. Let's get everybody in there. I've been even trying to get salespeople on there. I'm like, it's not about selling cars on there. It's about educating and networking, learning things, getting inspired. So that's what LinkedIn did for me.
Yeah. So definitely emails one way. Go to orbi.com. There's a lot of cool stuff. It's very techy, very geeky, but you know, I think it's worth learning. And hey, look, thanks for having me. I always see you guys as I walk the booth, right? When I was nobody. And I'd see you guys. I'm like, oh my God, like so much energy. And next time I'll bring a drip espresso thing. So we can take some shots.
I'm in on that. We'll make that happen. But brother, we appreciate you. We got a shirt waiting for you. But man, Lou, you know the deal.
You know what we need to do. For one, we need to make sure that everybody understands, since this is like, I mean, the not just the second interview that we've discussed Orbi and the solution that they're bringing to the actual industry, but we need to make sure that everybody knows that our friend Atul Patel is 100% CGC approved. That's right, everybody.
That's right.
Make sure that you recognize that. You might not have known him last year because he wasn't at this event last year, and he made it to this event this year. He's on the podcast, and we cannot wait to see where it is that he goes by dropping these F-bombs that don't offend the mom.
That's right.
You haven't done it with us yet. And that's wipe off the weight of unforgiveness. Focus on who you can help, where you're going, and what you can do. Stretch out and fly so that you can keep growing. You ready?
I love it.
Let's forgive.
Brother.
Hands on the shoulders. Hands on the shoulders. 1, 2, 3.
Forgive. Focus. Fly. And keep growing. Let's go, y'all.
Woo. Car guys, car gals, we appreciate you tuning in. We are still live in lovely Lexington at the incredible Kain Workshop, and you need to get out here. I'm telling you, you need to get out here. Some incredible people, some good food too. Got nice little dips and stuff.
Yeah,
dips
that was
and
good
chips.
stuff.
That was a good little remix
Yeah,
for the food
Yep.
to the midday eating. We appreciate that. But car guys, car gals, thank you again for Brewing Solutions, the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. I'm Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy,
And I'm Ferlin Arts, the subprime hero.
and you've been brewing with the one,
the only Atul Patel.
That's right, everybody. Thank you so much. Keep tuning in. Plenty more where that came from. We all